And next up at UFC Fight Night, Sterling taking on Zalal. We've got Jackson McVey taking on Sedriques Dumas. And I got to throw this one out there. I think this is very kill or be killed. Both guys are either going to finish you or get finished themselves. And I got to say, both guys to me are not UFC level. So this is going to be a very tricky fight to predict. I'm going to go with Jackson McVey, though. I think there's a hole in Dumas' grappling. I think he picked up MMA far too late in terms of the game. And I think that the game has passed him by in terms of the grappling and the submission department. I think he's going to get out-wrestled in most of his fights. I think he's going to get taken down, either clubbed and subbed or ground and pound. And McVey does a good job of pressuring early. He's very aggressive. Most of his victories do come inside of round one, of him being able to get into dominant positions, get in the face, get into the clinch, and being able to drag his opponents down or find in the clinch some sort of knockout elbow or knees to the body. And I do think here that with Dumas, he is the more technical striker. He stays very fundamental in the kickboxing, but I think that once he gets pressured, he tends to struggle with being pressured. And Jackson McVey, obviously at 6'4", he is a very big middleweight. I think he can come in here. I think he can get to the grappling, and I think he can show off his grappling chops, obviously losing back-to-back fights now inside the UFC via submission to Zach Reese and to Bruno Ferreira. I think he can come in here and he can get the victory against Dumas, as he's the better grappler in this matchup. Obviously, Dumas, he is the more credentialed in terms of the kickboxing, but I don't think he has enough stopping power to really test the chin of McVey. I think McVey can hold his own in the stand-up. I think he can pressure Dumas, and I think he can come in here, maybe take the back or get some sort of, dominant position on the ground, get this fight to the ground, and ultimately find the ground and pound victory or the submission victory early in round 1 or 2. Give me Jackson McVey here to get this one done. Not super confident, though. As I said, both guys not super, UFC level, not super talented. And even if you go back and look at Jackson McVey's career, the one loss he had on the regional scene in terms of his amateur career was against Wes Schultz, who is obviously UFC level. Most of his victories are coming against low-level guys. Dumas has not been able to look good inside the UFC either. So very much a coin flip fight, very much a fight, that I see either guy getting the finish and getting their hand raised inside the distance. But give me Jackson McVey here to get this one done via submission with his ground game. And let's see who Carlos has got in this one.
In this one, I'm going to take McVey to get it done. Both guys are struggling. McVey looking for his first win, trying to make it happen, but he's fought the tough competition in his first 2 fights. McVey looks hungry. He applies the pressure, comes forward, but just hasn't gotten over the hump. Dumas looks very unmotivated in his fights, although he does have skill, but, just can't get it done against the better opposition, and somehow finds the savvy to pull out a victory against lesser opposition. Like, I say lesser. I'm kind of surprised he's beaten guys like Cody Brundage. I figured Brundage would be able to run through him. But I just feel that McVey wants it. And skill-wise, I feel that the pressure of McVey is going to be what gets it done. He's going to be able to come forward. He's going to be able to hurt Dumas, whereas Dumas is probably going to be a little bit more defensive. And when McVey comes forward, he's going to be trying to get this to the ground. And I don't think that's going to be a good idea. I think that sets Dumas up for more ground and pound than anything. I for some reason, it's just very hard to take him. He does have skill. He has the ability, but I just feel he lacks the motivation to try to hang in a fight and get it done. So I'm going to take McVey to get this one done.